Hello everyone, how are you? How's it going? Hope you're doing good. Well, it's time. Feels like it's time to intervene. So today we're gonna finalize the robot. Wow, did you hear that? Of course, we're gonna finalize the Robo Racer. That sounds good, right? Feels like you have been waiting for this day, Gus. But hold on, I really wanted to know what we learned in the last class. Can you help me out? Yeah, it's your time. Just spit it out. We learned something in the last class, right? What was it? I just forgot. We learned the movements, right? We learned how to make the robot move forward, backward, and after that we controlled the robot by using the smartphone. Wow, that was just amazing, right? And I told you today will be finalizing the robot, so I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do today. Have a look. Well, I hope you can see the screen and now you can see the robot, right? And here we go. This is all about the application. So today we'll be focusing on the final robot, which means if I press forward, the robot has to move forward, and if I release the button, the robot has to stop. Same as these buttons. Like this one is for backward and this one is for right, this one is for left. Now let's try. Here we go. I'm gonna press the button called forward. Here we go. The robot has to move forward, right? Okay, here we go. Wow, did you see that? And whenever I release the button, it stopped. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now let's focus on the backward. Wow, it's working. Now left, right, here we go. Wow, did you see that? That's pretty cool, right? So this is all about that we're gonna make today. So have a look. Well, and that is what we're gonna make today. And trust me, this is gonna be so easy because almost everything that we learned from the last two sessions. Now you guys are ready for this one, right? I told you I just wanna feel you. Saragi is ready for this. Okay, that's great. So first of all, let me share my screen and let's figure it out what are the things that we will be learning today. So have a look. Well, I hope you can see the screen and these are the things that we will be learning today. Have a look. I told you today we'll be making something really amazing, right? And that is what is we're gonna finalize the robot. Wait, what is the robot name again? Robo Racer, exactly, Robo Racer. And you know what? Feels like almost everything we learned in between in the last two sessions. So this is gonna be so easy, trust me. And in this session, I told you we'll be focusing on the left side and the right side movement because the forward and backward that we learned in the last class, right? So this is gonna be so easy. And we'll be learning coding also by using the software. Wait, what is the software name again? KBID, exactly, KBID. And it's all about the block-based coding, right? All you do is just drag and drop. So easy, right? And HTTP, wait, what does that mean? Feels like we heard this word before, right? In the last class, I guess. But what was that? Any guess from anyone? Yeah, I told you it has a full form, that is what is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and I told you it's all about the communication between the computers over a web. That's just keep in mind like that. That's enough. And here we'll be focusing on the coding for 4 buttons. It's like forward, backward, left, right. Feels like in the last class we learned for one button, right? Just for the forward. Whenever we hold on the button, the robot was moving forward, and whenever we release the button, the robot was stopped. So that's all about the thing that we learned in the last class. But today I told you we'll be focusing on 4 buttons. So we'll be learning the coding and something. I'm gonna let you know in detail. Now let's move to the next. Well, I hope you can see the screen and something written over there. Can you read what it says? F command, both motors move forward. Okay, I told you before, right? It's all about if the letter called F comes from the application, the robot has to move forward. So just keep in mind F for forward. F stands for forward. Now what about the B? Of course, the B stands for backward, which means both the tires has to move backward. I mean, the robot has to move backward. That's it. So which means whenever the button called B or the backward button clicks, the app will be sending a command called B, and whenever the board receives that command, whatever inside the coding will start to work. Okay, don't be confused. I'm gonna let you know in detail. And letter L stands for left. Of course, the robot has to move to left. So whenever I click the button called L or the left button, the app has to produce the command called L, and the board has to receive that command. Whatever inside the bracket will start to work. So inside the bracket, we will be doing the coding for making the robot move left a little bit. I'm gonna show you that. And then R, you know it, right? R stands for right. Yeah, right turn. So if a command called R comes from the application, the board has to make, or the robot has to move to right a little bit. And S stands for to stop. That we did in the last class, right? If a letter called S comes, the robot has to stop. And I told you when the S command will be transferring, right? So just keep in mind, this one is really important. Whenever you hold on the button, whatever the letter will be transferring, and whenever you release the button, the command S will be transferring. So this one is really important. Just keep in mind, whenever you hold on the button, the letter, what it stands for, will be transferring. And whenever you release the button, the letter S will be transferring. And if it's received by the board, the robot will be stopping. So that's all about the concept that we'll be focusing today. Now it's time to get it and the coding. So I want you to open this software called KBID. And you know how to open, right? I told you, always remember, if you really want to open the KBID software, you need to click on the right button and just click on Run as Administrator. That's the best method to open the KBID software. So just get it done. It's your time. Well, I hope you can see the screen, and although you can see the KBID software, right? And although you can see a little bit coding, so that's all about that we learned in the last class, that we did in the last class. And this coding stands for Whenever we press on the forward button from the app, the robot will be moving forward, and whenever we release the button, the robot will be stopping. This is the coding for that actually. And I told you to keep in mind little bit things. That is what is you need to make sure the board. So just click on the board manager. And if you're really using Wi-Fi coding, you need to make sure this board. I mean, you need to click on this board. This one is really important. Though you can see a board called IPST Wi-Fi. So if you're really using Wi-Fi coding in between, you need to select this board. This one is really important. Just keep in mind. We have selected this board in the last class, that's why it's over there. If you couldn't see this board, you have to, because I told you if you're really using Wi-Fi code, we need to make sure this board. So just get it done. Now look at the code again. Over there you can see a little bit things that we did in the last class actually to make it move forward, and whenever we release the button, the robot has to stop. So this is the code for that actually. But you know what? We need to add a little bit inside this code, then we'll be completing the Robo Racer. Wow, that sounds good, right? I told you this is going to be so easy, right? But I just want to make sure a little bit. What does that mean? Setup. Over there you can see something like setup, right? What does that mean? And because from anyone, it's your time, just figure it out. What does it stands for? Setup. I told you before, right? It's like whatever or whichever port that you're using from the board, you need to mention it inside setup. And also I told you one more thing. What is that? If you really want to run the code once, you can add inside the setup. So inside there you can see a lot of blocks, and let's focus on the first 4 blocks. And these blocks are actually for motors, right? There you can see 25, 26. This is for the left motor, I guess, and 19, 15. This is for the right motor. And just below you can see something like start Wi-Fi access point, because I told you in this case our board will be acting as a Wi-Fi point, or else in a simply way we could say like acting as a hotspot. And though we can give the name. So instead of robot, I told you can give any name. It's totally up to you, and you can set the password. It's also totally up to you. And just below you can see something like start HTTP server port. It's a default port for the HTTP communication. Wait, what does that mean, HTTP? I told you it has a full form. What was that? Yeah, hypertext transfer protocol, exactly. And now let's focus on loop. Wait, what does that mean, loop? I really want to know what does that mean, loop, the word loop. Yeah, you know it, some of you are seeing exactly whatever inside will start to run continuously. And over there you can see something like server on F, which means if a command called F comes from the application, whatever inside will start to work. So inside we have mentioned like the robot has to move forward, right? So this is good for that actually. Though you can see 25 as 1. Wait, what does that mean? I told you one trick. What was that? 1 stands for excellent. Told you to just keep in mind 1 stands for positive, or just consider as positive. It's a trick actually. And 0 stands for negative. You remember, right? It's like we were considering the box, I mean the RJ11 port as a battery. So we all know every battery has 2 terminals, one is positive and the other one is negative. So here we'll be setting the port as a battery, or we'll be considering the port as a battery. So though we got 2 names, or one is 25, the other one is 26, and we'll be setting one name as positive, the other one as negative. So it's like a battery actually. So that we did in the last class, you know it. And just below you can see something like response to client, which means if a command called F comes, it has to respond to the client. That's all about this block stands for. So this one is record actually. So I wanted to drag exactly the same block inside this one that we did in the last class actually. And just below you can see something like server on S comes, which means if a command called S comes, the robot has to stop. So that's why here we set all port has 0, which means negative. Then it won't move actually. That we learned, right? So just keep in mind, if you set 0, 0 for a motor, the robot won't rotate, which means it's like a stop stage. That's pretty cool, right? And just before I told you, if you press any of the buttons, whatever the commands will be transferring, and whenever we release the button, the command called S will be transferring. And if it's received by the board, whatever inside will start to work, and that is what is there you can see, right? 2 motor has to stop because all the port has set into 0. 0 means negative. Yeah, that's it. And just below you can see something like response to client, because I told you if these commands come or whatever commands come, it has to respond to the client. That's it. Now we need to create a set of blocks same as this for moving backward, right? You know what to do. So for that, yeah, just duplicate one of this. That's pretty cool. And just drop it below. Yeah, exactly like this. And yeah, do I need to change anything? Exactly. I told you B stands for backward, right? So instead of S, what are you going to do? Exactly, you need to select B, and I told you it has to be capital. It's pretty cool. And what has to happen if a command called B comes? What has to happen? Of course, the robot has to move backward, right? So that's really something, but how's that possible? Any guess from anyone? It's your time, just spit it out. You know what to do, right? Because in the last class, we did that actually. So there you can see this is the command for moving forward, And all you do, just change the polarity, just interchange the terminal, that's it. There you can see 1 0 1 0 to move forward. Now what about backward? Exactly 0 1 0 1, right? I told you, just keep in mind it's all about changing the polarity. So that's it, 0 1 0 1. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now what would happen? Any guess from anyone? Yeah, if I press the B button from my application, command called B will be transferring, and if it's received by the board will be moving, or the robot will be moving backward. Now hold on, let me ask you something. What if I release the button? Yeah, what if I release the backward button? What would happen? Will it stop or will it move continuously backward? What do you guys think? Any guess from anyone? Of course it will stop, right? Of course it will stop, because look at the coding. Though we mentioned if a letter called S comes, the robot has to stop. So I told you, whenever we release the button, there is a command called S will be transferring. So this how does it work actually? And that's pretty something, right? Now do we need to add anything inside? Exactly, we need to set the code for left movement and the right movement. But before that, you need to know something. So I'm going to share my screen and let's figure it out. Well, I hope you can see the screen, and although you can see the robot, right? Now I just want to make sure a little bit about the movement. You all are familiar with the forward and the backward movement. Anyway, I just want to make sure. So yeah, in forward condition, these both tires, which means the left tire and the right tire. So make sure I have connected the left tire to the first port, which means the motor 1. The names are 25 and 26, and the right tire to this 19 and 50. So whenever both the tires moves like this, it will make a forward movement, right? I mean, the robot will be moving forward. And whenever both the tires moving like this, I mean backward, yeah, the robot will be moving backward, right? So this is all about the forward and backward condition. You all are familiar with it. But let me know, how does it move left and right? How is that possible? Any guess from anyone? How is that possible actually? Well, feels like some of you are saying something. Okay, don't be confused. Actually, we have two options. If you really want to move to left side, which means this is the left side, right? Either you can stop this tire and rotate this one. Then it will be making an angle like this. Wow, did you see that? Did you see that? It's perfectly working, right? So what did I do? Here I have started rotating this tire, I mean the right side tire. And what about the left one? Exactly, it has to stop, right? Now what is happening? Wow, did you see that? It's making a left turn. That's pretty cool, right? Wow, did you see that? Now I told you there are two options. So this is option number 1. And let's talk about option number 2. That is what is, either we can rotate this one backward and this one forward. Which means the left one backward and the right one forward. Here we go, have a look. Wow, what is happening? Did you see that? It's making a left turn, right? So what did I do? Here I have set the left tire to move backward and the right tire to move forward. Now it will be making a left turn. Wow, that's pretty cool. Did you see that? Wow. Now same as, let me know, what about right side? You can help me out, how does it work then? I told you two options are there, right? One is either we can stop this tire, which means either we can stop the right tire and rotate the left tire. Wow, see, look at that. It's just making a right turn. So that's the option number 1. And what about the option number 2? What is that? Yeah, anyone? Exactly. Either you can rotate this one, I mean the right tire to backward and the left tire to move forward. Then it will be making like this. Wow, it's pretty cool, right? So you can use any of the options actually. It's totally up to you. That's pretty cool, right? So this is how does it move left and right actually. But hold on, how's that we can do in coding? How's that possible? Feels like we all know how to move forward, right? Okay, don't be confused, I can explain. What if we set this 110 and this 110, which means the 2526 10 and this 1915 10, what would happen? Yeah, of course it will start move forward, right? Because that we did just now. That's the forward condition. And what about backward? I told you it's all about changing the polarity, which means if we keep this one, which means the left one 01 and the right one 01, it will making a backward movement, exactly like this, right? Now what did I say? If you really want to turn left, we have two options. So let's focus on the second one. That would be good, which means this has to move backward, this has to move forward. So for that, you know what to do. So in that case, if you really want to rotate left, all you do, just set this motor has to rotate backward and this has to move forward, which means 0110. You got it, right? Okay, don't be confused. He will be setting 01, then it will be making backward, and here this one, I mean the right side tire will be setting 10, then it will be making forward. Now look at that. Wow, it will be making a left turn, right? That's pretty cool. Now same as this, what about right turn? Can you help me out? Yeah, just focus on the second option. What was that? Yeah, this tire has to move backward, right? So for that, we will be setting this tire. This tire stands for, yeah, the 19 and 15. So you'll be setting 19 and 15, 0, 1. Then it will be making backward, right? And we will be setting this tire, which means 25 and 26 forward, which means, yeah, look at that. It will be making a right. So this how does it work actually? It's pretty easy, right? What do you guys think? If you got the trick, this is going to be so easy. Okay, now let's back to the coding. Have a look. Well, I hope you can see the screen. So I wanted to duplicate the same and just drop it over here. And do I need to change anything? Exactly. Let's focus on right side. So yeah, here we need to give capital letter R, which stands for to move right side, right? And what about inside? Do I need to change anything? You know what to do, right? So for making right turn, what did I say? This tire has to move backward. So I just want to make sure where this tire has connected. So this tire has connected with the 19 and 15, which means this tire has to make 0, 1. Okay, so just keep in mind 19 and 15 has to make 0, 1. And this one, the left side motor, which I have connected with the 25 and 26, this one has to move forward, right? Yeah, forward means 1, 0. We did that actually before. Yeah, just keep in mind 25, 26 as 1, 0 and 19, 15 as 0, 1. Then it would work perfectly. Let's figure out the code again. We can see the screen. So what did I say? 25 has to 1, 0. I mean 25, 26 has to 1, 0. 26 has to 0. Then that arrow will be moving forward. And the other one, it has to make backward, right? So yeah, this is the code for that actually. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it has to 0, 1. 19 has to 0 and the 15 has to 1. Then it will be making backward. Then totally it will be making a right turn. That's pretty cool, right? Now same as is, we need to get it done for the left movement. So for that, you know what to do. Yeah, either just duplicate the same. So I wanted to do the same in between, so just get it done. And here instead of R, yeah, what about the letter? Exactly, left, which means capital L. And what about inside? Can one figure it out? Okay, don't be confused. I'm going to show you that again. Just look at the screen. Well, I hope you can see the screen. Now this time the robot has to make a left turn, right? Which means this tire, that means the 25-26 sport tire, left tire has to rotate like this backward, and the right tire, which means the 19-15 tire, has to move forward. So this has to be 0, 1 and this has to be 1, 0. That's it. So don't be confused. Then it will be making like this, and that's a perfect left turn. Now look at the code again. Well, what did I say? Yeah, the 25 has to be 0 and the 26 has to be 1. That's pretty cool. And what about this case? Exactly, I told you 19 has to be 1 and 50 has to be 0. Then it will be making a left turn. That's pretty cool. Now look at that. Inside this loop, we have mentioned 5 sets of code, right? Yeah, one is for forward, one is for S stands for stop, I told you, and B stands for backward, R stands for right, L stands for left. Now same as this, you can set your own code if you really got this one. This is really something, right? And I told you inside the application we said, like, if you hold on the button, the corresponding command will be transferring, and whenever you release the button, the command S will be transferring. So whatever inside the S will start to work. That is what is to stop the robot. So this is all about the coding actually. Now I wanted to upload the same code and let's figure it out. Before that, you know what to do, right? Make sure you have connected the programming cable and just power the board by using the battery, and make sure to turn on the board and turn off the A switch. So these are the main things that you need to follow. So just get it done and just upload it. Well, I hope you can see the screen. So here I'm going to connect the programming cable over here. And I told you to turn on the board by using the battery and make sure the connection, it has to be in proper way or else it will be damaged. So it's pretty cool. Wow, look at that. And make sure the board has turned on and the A switch has turned off. That's pretty cool. Now it's time to upload the code. Have a look. And make sure the ports over that, just click on this option. Yeah, it's connected. Now just click on this uploading option and we need to wait a little bit. In between, let me say something. If you haven't purchased this kit, feel free to contact us. Well, for me, it shows done uploading because there you can see a green tick mark, right? What about you guys? Did you get the same? And wait, let me know about the application. Feels like you already downloaded the application in the last class, right? From that drive link. Yeah, I hope you all downloaded that. Well, now I want you to open the application exactly like we did in the last class. Anyway, I'm going to show you that. Just look at the screen. Well, I hope you can see the screen. Now I just want to let you know one thing. If we have uploaded the code, no need of connecting the programming cable. because the program will be stored inside this board. So that's perfect. Now I wanted to take the smartphone where we have downloaded the application. Now I told you, first of all, you need to make sure the Wi-Fi has connected. So just click on the Wi-Fi option. And where do you need to connect it with? Exactly, I told you there would be a hotspot called robot. Why robot? Any guess from anyone? Because inside the coding we have mentioned robot. We have called robot. I told you can give any name. It's totally up to you. You can give your own name. That would be fun, right? So there you can see, right? There is a Wi-Fi access point called robot. All you need to do, just click on it. Sorry, not this one. Yeah, just click on it. And we need to wait a little bit. And there you go. What it says, cannot get connected. It can provide internet. Exactly. It doesn't have an internet actually. It's all about the connectivity. Now it's time to open the application. So just click on it. And we need to wait a little bit. Yeah, it started loading. And there you go. There is an option called start. Here we go. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now it's time to check it. So Arik is ready for that. Okay, here we go. So what has to happen? This is the forward, backward, and this one for the left side and this one for the right side, right? Now, whenever I press the forward button, the robot has to move forward. And whenever I release the button, the robot has to stop. Now, let's figure it out. Wow, it's working perfectly. Did you see that? Okay, here we go again. Wow, it's moving. Whenever I release the button, it has stopped. Now, same as let's focus on the backward. Wow, it's working perfectly. Did you see that? So smooth actually. The connectivity is so smooth. It's because we have been using the Wi-Fi connectivity. Now let's focus on the right and left. Here we go. Wow, did you see that? It's working, right? Wow, it's making left turn. And this is all about the right turn. Wow, look at the robot. Now I'm gonna show in proper view. So here we go. Now here I'm gonna press the forward button. Wow, the robot has started moving forward. Now here I'm gonna press the backward button. Robot has started moving backward. Here we go. Now the left, right. Now here we go. I'm gonna press the right button. Wow, it's moving right. Now here I'm gonna press the left button. Here we go. Wow, it started moving left. So this is so cool. What about you guys? Did you get this thing? Well, this is all about the section actually. Finally, we did it, right? Yeah, we built the Robo Racer and so amazing. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So it's time to wind up this session. Before that, I just want to make sure one more thing. If you haven't purchased this kit, just call us to get one. Now let's talk about what are the things that we learned today. I mean, throughout this session 1, 2, 3, yeah, let's talk about that one actually. Let's talk about those ones. So in this session, we learned about the basic things, right? Like how to construct the robot, and we learned about the board, like the interface. I told you there are a lot of boards to learn. And I told you each board has a name, and the names are really important because we will be calling the names inside the code. And we did a project called Robo Blinker. It's all about turning on one LED. And I told you if you got the concept, you can make it blink the 6 LEDs. That's gonna be something. And in the second session, we focus on the autonomous robot, like the movement of the robot, right? Forward, backward, and we did that. That's so easy, right? And later we were working on to control the robot by using the smartphone through Wi-Fi connectivity. And the session 3, we built the actual Robo Racer. That's really something. What do you guys think? And in between, we learned something like HTTP, right? What is the full form? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's all about the communication. Just keep in mind like that. That's enough. So thank you. Have a nice day.